Hi guys, welcome to the BMW Clubsport channel. Right, I've got the car in the garage. Pretty sure I can do this job inside. It's pretty decent out. Well, it's not decent outside. It's grey, it's cloudy, there's no sun. It's not particularly cold, but hey, I'll do it in the garage. So the car's jacked up. I'm not going to put any extra stands on it because I'm not actually going under the car. I'm just going to be working at the side. So if the worst does come to the worst, then you know, as long as I haven't got my fingers under the brake rotor, I'll be I'll be fine. Right, so maybe you can guess what today's job is if you looked at the previous video where I changed the mirror, which is done. There you can see it all done. And I've got some lighting on this one, so we might get some decent lighting. There's going to be a good few parts to this job where I won't be able to show you me doing it, simply because I'm trying to hold a camera phone at the same time. But I think next time I'll try and set up my, it's not a GoPro, it's a cheap one, an action camera that I can put on my camera tripod. The problem is my camera tripod is for a DSLR and it's too wide, too big. I need a dicky little tiny one, and I might have one, I'm not sure. I think I might have one. So anyway, the job lined up for today is to fix the headlight auto leveling mechanism, or to replace it, because it's broken. I'll show you the broken one and I'll show you the replacement one. It's 2 bolts and a connector, so it should be fairly easy. I don't know if I can demonstrate this to you. I don't know if the jack's in the way, but normally, oh yeah, I can bring the windows down. Alright, so if I just press and hold the key, all the windows come down, the back windows open up, and the sunroof opens. Yeah, okay, right, so when you turn on the headlights, which means I'm going to have to put the key in the ignition and turn it to run position 2. Hold on. Okay, so when I put the headlights on, they normally would just come on. So let's do that now. Oh, hold on, got Billie Eilish on there. Get YouTubed. My YouTube will get demonetized. So normally you put the light on. You see that one there? That would normally, you switch it on and it would normally come on like that and then go zzz, zzz, and it would auto level. It's not doing that. The lights are level. They're perfectly level at the moment, but they won't adjust their level if there's any weight in the back, which is nigh on never going to happen. There's never going to be enough weight in the back of this car for these headlights to need to do this. But I'm going to change it anyway because it's a part that's broken and it'll satisfy the OCD in me. Alright, so I'm gonna do that now. So I've got my little power wrench thing, whatever you want to call it, impact driver, which is why I've got the car jacked up with the wheel still on. So I've got my little tool here, which I'm gonna, some of these can be a bugger, to get these plastic caps off, and we'll just pull on those. There we go. So I bought these. I could have got them in chrome, but I decided to get the satin or gloss black, whatever they are, satin black, gloss black, yeah, gloss black, because I don't know, the silver and the black offset, so you got the black of the tyre, the silver and the black of this. I just thought it would go okay, so I'm actually preferring the black. So to get all those off, and then we can pull the wheel off. You can see the mechanism with the wheel on, but you can't really work on it with the wheel on. You really want to be doing it. You really want to be doing it with the wheel off. You can see my it needs a good clean, but you can see my Bilstein shock absorbers there in the yellow and blue, and I've got the IBAC springs on it, which is getting really dirty. I don't know how, you know, the writing and stuff gets worn off. But yes, that'll become more prevalent once I take the wheel off. So okay, power wrench with a 17mm on it. Can I do this with one hand? I don't know. Oops, dropped the phone there. Yeah, it's not coming off. It's not coming off. Maybe I need to put the car down. This is on really tight. Yeah, not really that good. I need more power. Alright, so I'm going to put the car down, undo it with a long extension, and then we'll power these off, and I'll be back. Right, so I finally got the wheel off. You'll notice there's a puddle on the floor. It wouldn't come off. The bolts came off fine. But I couldn't get the wheel off the hub, so I had to use, I didn't have a rubber hammer, rubber mallet, so I had to use that with a bit of wood on the tyre, and that got it off no problem at all. Now what I'm going to do, it's rust that's around. Let me see if I can get some better light on this where you can see for yourself. So I'm going to clean that up. I do have a wire brush affair kind of thing, this thing, so I'm going to use that on with the drill, and I also have these wire brushes as well. And I'm also going to do the inside here, which has got a little bit rusty in there, so I'm going to clean that up before the wheel goes back on. And yeah, we got the tested on the Nordschleifer Bilstein shocks. Do a bit of a clean. Now the offending article is here. See if I can get my hand in. It's there, and as you can see, let me just, I've got very little working room as usual. Alright, so there it is. So you can see here it's actually broken off here. This is broken, so it's just a case of taking the bolt off on the wishbone there. This is attached, not the bolt, but it's even tie wrapped to that. Then there's a connector here, and then I think there's just a bolt which is going to hold this on. The location of I see it. Okay, I see it. I think it's over here. So it's this. There's a bolt there, and then that whole thing should come off, and we just put the other one on. So the first thing I'm going to tackle is this. See if I can shed some better light on that. There we go. That's got to come off the wishbone. I think it's just held in with a clip or something, but I'll check that out. It needs a bit of a clean. So I'll get it all cleaned up in here, and we'll see where we are. Alright guys and geezers, I think I got this weighed up. So we have a clip here, and there's a 13mm bolt underneath. So I'm going to see if I can access that with a spanner. In fact, I've got my little ratchety spanners here. Let me just work out. I think it goes on this way for loosening. Okay. Oh, why can't I ever do this with one hand? Oh. Yep, two hands. Okay, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to remove a 13mm nut from there, and a 10mm nut from somewhere else. Hold on. Yeah, from here, this one, where my finger is. Okay, that's it. And then once that's dangling loose, then I'll pull the crimps in on the electrical connector and pull that connector out. I'll see you when I've done that. Alright, there it is, there's the old one off. Not really too difficult. I don't know what this cable tie is there for. Not really sure why that's there. And this is where it broke. Not quite sure why, probably just wear and tear. This is probably the original part. You can tell it's been on there for a wee while now. Aye, so yeah, and once it was dangling, we got the connector off. I've strapped the light up there with a cable tie under my suspension, so I've got some good light down here now. Okay, so there was a bit of gunk on this thing. I had to squeeze it in a few times before it pulled out, but that's normal. That's normal. And so this is the new one, or the replacement. It's not new, but it looks in really good condition. I've already put some white grease, WD-40 white grease on these points. So I think because it was a little bit tricky to get this, to get this bolt through this hole. You see it goes on this hole here. This let me see if I can find, the camera's really offset. Yeah, here it was on this hole. Because this is in the way, and let me see if I can show you from another angle. So trying to get it out from here, the box was hitting this, okay, and it was hitting this as well, so I had to jiggle it a little bit. So I think I'm going to do the exact reverse, and I'm just going to jiggle it back in there and tighten this up, tighten the box onto the car first, then put the switch in, and then we'll get the clamp that goes onto the wishbone, which is, of course, if you can see that, Melee HD, has to be. Right, so I will get the box back on and we'll see where we are. Alright, so everything is almost on. I've got the connector on. Sometimes I get, like with the camera, I know I shouldn't be even complaining about this, but you know, the phone, the camera phone, the camera's here at the top left hand of the phone, it's not in the middle. That's why I'm sometimes, because I'm used to doing it with my DSLR, I have to keep remembering that the iPhone camera is on the top corner, so I'm normally positioning the lens in the wrong place. Anyway, so I've got the connector on, and I've got this bolt on which goes on the second hole, because in the first little hole there's a little nibbly thing there, a little notch. See if I can get you in there. This notch thing which secures it down. So yeah, I've just tied up the 10mm bolt, put the connector on, give it a good squeeze, make sure that you hear the clicks. And now the last thing is to put the thing on. So I'm going to need to take this bolt off, and then this will come this way up like this. Alright, so it's swinging on a star there, and then that just goes down into there, and then we just take the bolt and just screw it on underneath. It's getting a little bit tight. I'm going to put some lubricant on that and give it a clean. I don't want it to, yeah, you see it's a bit gunked around there. I'm going to give the thread a bit of a clean just to make sure. It will go on anyway, but I just want to clean it. And then I'll put this in there, we'll screw that back on, and then we'll test the headlights. Alright, so that is all on. It kind of looks okay, but this part here, I don't know, this bit looks like it's at quite an angle, but maybe it's supposed to be that way. Yeah, okay, well, we'll test the headlights out and see what's going on. Right, let me just get round to the car. I will put it into ignition 2. all sorts of funny noises. Alright, so as we put on the headlights, thank you Billy. So this one you're not going to see because the door's open, so we'll concentrate on this one. So side lights, and here we go. Oh yeah, you see that? Auto level. I don't know if it will reset now and then do it again. No, it looks like they're settled in place now. I don't know what it is. I turn the headlights off. When I go to side light, wow, I can really hear the headlights moving. Alright, let's go straight to headlights. There you go. Sounds like it's having a bit of a strain in there. Let's see if we can see the mechanism working from this way. So I'm going to put the headlights on now. Can't see a thing. It might just, yeah, it's going to be the motor that's working it, obviously. It's the motor. I'm not quite sure what that leverage thing is, or why it needs it. Oh, obviously it's going, it's, yeah, okay, I get it. So, yeah, that lever monitors the distance from the suspension, and then the box alters the position accordingly. I got it. I got you. Trying to find the headlights now. There we go. Alright, so let's have a look on the door if we can. Perfect. Let's see if we can catch it in action. Hold on. Ready. Didn't get round far enough. Try again. Yeah, well they do move. Anyway, so that's working now. So I'm just going to get a little bit of anti-friction dry PTFE lubricant, again WD-40, and just spray it on all of these bits and keep that nice and lubed. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is clean this with a wire brush. Clean the hub with a wire brush around here and a little bit around here. Do the same for the inside of that wheel. Pop the wheel on and we're good to go. I'll straighten the steering out as well for putting the wheel on. So yeah, this old one can go to the bin. Right, so I'll get on with that and then I'll be back. Okay, so a little wire brushing later, just a little. I've gone round that hub in the middle there just to clean that off all round, and also you'll notice that the wheel is in a lot better shape now. So what I'm going to do, I don't have any copper grease to spread over here and on here, so I'm just going to put some lubricating stuff on it, the white grease, and then I'm going to put some normal grease on, which I don't know whether you're supposed to do it, but I'm only going to put a thin layer of grease on just to prevent any further corrosion. And you know, if it's not like it's going to slip, not with 5 bolts holding the damn thing down, so I'm just going to do a little bit on there, but again very thin, because you know, even with 5 bolts you can get a layer between, and I don't want to do that. So you know, I'll just put a very thin layer of grease on, and then we'll get the old wheel back on, and yeah, job done.